All right, Mr. Stacy, you have a number of policies. If you want to give us a quick overview of those.
Yes, sir. So the way the packet is for you, you'll notice that you've got the current board policy, and then you have a red line policy. And the red line policy is to the model policy from the School Boards Association. So what we do is we take the model policy from the School Boards Association, we red line it to make it the new policy. And so I wanted to include the old policy, or it's the current policy, that's in our school board policy manual, so you could see where they're going. And these are all related to recruitment and hiring policy updates. The first one, professional staff recruitment. Basically what we've done is we've just added some clarity, more than just principals and directors. So we talked central service administrators and other supervisors. And then the newer policy puts more emphasis on non-discrimination practices. The professional staff recruitment rule R really is an HR function, and so what this has done is it's updated the strategies that we utilize for recruitment, and you'll note that it's more electronic in nature. So those are the kinds of strategies that you'll see as it changes. Professional staff hiring policy, which is policy GCF. Again, we're just identifying this as an HR function. And what you'll see missing from this policy that's in our current policy is the background checks practices, and that has been moved to a brand new policy, GBEBDA. So you'll see that verbiage as you look through it. You'll see that it's been shifted into the new policy because that's the new school board model policy. The professional staff hiring, the rules. We've notified, one of the things you'll note in there, it says something to the effect about notifying applicants if they didn't submit in a timely fashion and they submitted their application after the deadline. Well, really, they can't do that in our new practice because the front line, you have to do it electronically, and when the position closes, you can't add another application, but we notify all our applicants when they apply, whether they got, if they didn't receive it, they get notification. And then at the bottom, it talks about the teaching positions and who interviews and who processes those. We really have outgrown this process. Back when I first came to Lexington School District 1, oh my God, I lost his name before Mary. Dick Thompson. Dick Thompson literally interviewed every single person that was hired in Lexington 1. When I came here as a principal at White Knoll High School, I was blown away because I had never had the HR person sit down with me and interview. He literally interviewed every teacher that came into this district. Well, I think since White Knoll was built, we've probably built like 15 or 16 schools. We've more than doubled in size, and that's just not going to happen. We just don't have the capacity to do that. So that policy reflects more, giving more emphasis to our principals and other supervisors to make that process happen. I spoke to you about the new policy, criminal record checks. This is GBEBDA. This is a brand new policy, but we took the verbiage from our old policies that related to background checks. And by state law, we have to do a SLED check, National Sex Offender Registry. And then, of course, we have to do the immigration check. And so that outlines that all for you. And then there's one for certified. There's also for support staff hiring. And again, basically, we moved the background stuff to GBEBDA because a B policy, GB means for all employees. GC means for certified employees, and GD means for support staff employees. So this is now a GB because we do the same thing for every employee that comes. So you can read through that. And then you got support staff hiring. The change here was primarily, again, given permission for people beyond the principal and department head, so it's administrator and or supervisor. And so if you have like a head custodian and they were interviewing for housekeepers, they would have the opportunity to be involved in that evaluation. And then finally, GDFR, which is support staff hiring. You're gonna see some verbiage here, and I just wanted to make note there's a red line version, and when I read it the first time, when I got it from Meredith Falls, I'm like, this is the exact same thing. Well, it's really not. On the first page, you'll see support staff, and then the second page, you'll see where it talks about new licensed professional. And so the difference is those are like nurses, school nurses, licensed professionals, and they're treated a little bit different. So you'll see that verbiage in those policies. And again, if you don't have anything more to do, I've given you a lot of reading material to read through for the next board meeting. Any questions?
Can I make a request? I don't know if this is.
Can.
If we're going to use this process and get these, is there any way you could put a footer on these with the date and time so that we know which version we pull out of a folder? That's just a management thing. That would just be extremely helpful because we do sometimes get a lot of different paper copies of, and that just let me know that this was the first or the second. It's very helpful. Thank you.
Okay. Board, are there any questions or comments on any of Dr. Little's many presentations there? And Dr. Little, anything else you want to add?
No, Madam Chair, that is all that I have.
Okay.